Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 269 based on novel. So let's start. Let's go. Seeing that the treasure pavilion in front of him was extremely strictly protected by countless silver thunderbolts, the four of them looked at each other immediately, and a trace of fury flashed in the depths of their pupils. Especially Du Chifei, she knew what was going on in the treasure pavilion, and she wanted to find out her secrets. Open. Duan Tianhong sneered, and suddenly the thunderous rays of light that wrapped the silver treasure pavilion, the bottom of which faintly revealed a door of light enough to accommodate everyone. Crash. Upon seeing this, the four of them stepped into it without any hesitation. I hope these little guys will have a chance. I should also enter it and wait for Xiao Yang to exorcise me. Du Tianhong's voice just fell, and his figure immediately merged into the treasure pavilion. Maybe Du and Tianyang didn't even think that this seemingly ordinary award would actually cure the dark disease in the main body of GU, thus completely breaking their plan. What a mysterious space. Xiao Yang had just poured into the treasure pavilion, and was immediately separated from the others. The intricate lines here were a headache. Let's take a look around first. This is only the bottom layer, and the things in bloom should not be too precious. Xiao Yang thought to himself. As soon as he finished speaking, he immediately walked towards one of the many passages. Thunder sound wave fighting skill, can use the power of thunder to condense into a tyrannical sound wave to attack the enemy, and even in the face of those weaker than himself, he can even kill with one hit. Equal rank, immortal rank intermediate. Just after walking a few steps, he suddenly saw a light curtain. Out of curiosity, Xiao Yang couldn't help but approached a little, and some small words appeared on the light curtain. The entire treasure pavilion stands in the shape of a square loft, and in the large and small passages, there are a lot of light hidden in the sunken places. In the light, it is the place where the treasure is stored, but this light seems to be ordinary, but the protective power contained in it, even Xiao Yang's current power, may not be able to be cracked in a short time. This sonic fighting skill is really good, but unfortunately the rank is too low. Xiao Yang first smiled slowly, then shook his head. After all, this is the upper plane, and many low-level fighting skills are not suitable. After all, the tyranny of fighting skills is closely related to the outcome of the battle, so it should not be sloppy. Little guy, after you get what you need, you will find me. I will be waiting for you at the upper level of the treasure pavilion. The next moment, a rather tyrannical soul force slowly poured into Xiao Yang's mind. This guy. Xiao Yang knew this voice without guessing. This voice was from Du Tianhong. But what Xiao Yang didn't expect was that Du Tianhong's soul power actually reached the Fairyland. If that's the case, let's go to the upper floors. I think good things should be on the top. Xiao Yang raised his head and looked at the airtight treasure pavilion and said with a slight smile. In this treasure pavilion, it is airtight, and every floor has an extremely tyrannical force to isolate it. Even Xiao Yang tried to use his soul power to probe without success, and he was heavily guarded. Lei Dan, an immortal rank 4th grade Shen rank pill, after taking it can increase the sensitivity of thunder attribute powerhouses to thunder attribute vindictiveness, thus providing great help when practicing or transcending tribulation. Knowing how many layers there are in this treasure pavilion, Xiao Yang just shook his head helplessly. Obviously, he saw many tyrannical martial arts fighting skills and even medicine pills along the way. Unfortunately, the level is too low. The aura of pastoral song and Ju Mi is just ahead. The next moment, the voice of the Soul Eater slowly sounded. These two guys. As soon as they came to this floor, they suddenly saw the figures of Mu Ji and Ju Mi slowly quieting down in the second rays of light. Obviously, they had found their own treasure. Xiao Yang, haven't you found it yet? At the end of this floor, Du Chifei stood at the end with a serious face, facing Xiao Yang in the distance. Not yet. Xiao Yang shook his head helplessly, but he sensed that the bright light behind Duo Chifei seemed to lead somewhere. If that's the case, then come with me. Du Chifei seemed to have made up his mind, his silver teeth clenched slightly, and then he disappeared directly into the light behind him. Go. Xiao Yang's speed skyrocketed and followed, but the speed was still very slow. Now Xiao Yang already has a lot of attack and defense methods, the only thing missing is the movement and fighting skills, and the movement and fighting skills are quite good. It is rare, so Xiao Yang has not found a fighting skill that suits him. With a sound, the two suddenly appeared in another space as if they had penetrated through a water world. Forging Valley Master? He had just passed through the light to come here, and before he had time to look at this space, Xiao Yang suddenly only saw the figure of Wei Ran in front of him and lost his voice. This place is located at the top of the treasure pavilion. It is an extremely wide hall. In the hall, a dazzling array of bookshelves are constantly appearing, which is very similar to a study. You little guy, your eyes are very high. There are so many fighting techniques in the treasure pavilion, and none of them are suitable for you. Seeing Xiao Yang's empty hands, Duan Tianhong smiled helplessly. Forging Valley Master, you can't blame me for this. There are indeed many treasures in this treasure pavilion, but too few of them fit me. Xiao Yang shook his head. Since I owe you a favor, if you need something, just say it. Du Tianhong said, what I need most right now is a roll of body fighting skills. Xiao Yang said directly. Movement and fighting skills. After hearing the words, the Valley Forge Master fell into a brief contemplation, and then his palm moved slightly, and the red scroll on the top of the bookshelf immediately appeared in his hand. The red scroll just appeared, and the piercing sound of thunder continued to sound from around it. Obviously, this scroll is definitely not low level. This is the top martial arts fighting skill of our forged sword Thunder Valley. Although you are of the fire attribute, with the blessing of Holy Flame, your power should not be much less. After Duan Tianhong finished speaking, he projected the scroll towards Xiao Yang extremely reluctantly. Thunder explosion technique is mainly based on the terrifying speed that bursts out by compressing one's own thunder attribute fighting chi. The speed is related to the strength of one's own energy. The stronger one's grudge, the more terrifying the speed at which it can be compressed. Equal rank, high rank of holy rank. The short words made Xiao Yang jump for joy. With Xiao Yang's intelligence, as long as he learned this fighting skill, he was able to compress his fire attribute fighting chi and condense it into a terrifying form. Speed. That's what fighting skills are needed. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, he also checked carefully and found that the training methods of fighting skills were completely recorded inside this scroll, so he slowly put it away. Since your remuneration has been settled, it's time to do something. Duo Tianhong looked at Xiao Yang cunningly, and Xiao Yang was also fearless. He also wanted to see if his holy flame could be completely eliminated. Obliterate the alien race. Forging Valley Master, let me exorcise you from now on. Xiao Yang looked at the amiable Valley Forging Master in front of him and said slowly. At the beginning, Xiao Yang himself was also planted with some Blood Demon gold energy by the Blood Demon envoy. That kind of torture, even if Xiao Yang possessed the holy flame, was quite painful, so Xiao Yang naturally knew that the kind of pain was unpleasant. Hey, I'm not in a hurry. Let's get rid of the things on Mayfair's body first. Duo Tianhong refused. Obviously his own safety was insignificant compared to his daughter's. Duan Chifei? Xiao Yang heard the words, and then slowly put his eyes on Du Chifei. It's just that Du Chifei at this time, with 4 gods and no masters, stared at the sky above the study, not knowing what he was doing, as if something was wriggling between his eyebrows. Forging Valley Master, what is Feiya? Xiao Yang also saw this situation for the first time, so he couldn't help asking. Xiao Yang, are you a human? At the next moment, Duan Tianhong ignored Xiao Yang and asked directly. What? When Du Tianhong asked this, Xiao Yang was immediately shocked, because in the ghost world, the real identity is often a taboo. The next moment, Xiao Yang didn't have too many worries and nodded lightly. It shouldn't hurt that Du Tianhong helped him so much. Ever since I knew that you have Holy Flame, and Holy Flame is Fire Heart Tianyang, I know that you are definitely not an aboriginal resident of the ghost world. And since your identity is human, Feiya's affairs can also be entrusted to you. Du Tianhong's voice was full of helpless vicissitudes, which shocked Xiao Yang. Senior, you. Xiao Yang seemed to realize something and couldn't help but speak. Don't worry, I won't fall, and this is not Tuogu. It's just that Mayfair has a special status and needs your care. Duan Tianhong said. What exactly is Feiya? Until now, Xiao Yang was also quite curious about Du Chifei's life experience. This is the 2nd floor at the top of the treasure pavilion. As for her secrets, they all live on the 1st floor. Let's go up to the 1st floor, you will naturally understand. After Du Tianhong finished speaking, a touch of soft silver thunder slowly wrapped around Du Chifei, and then the 3 disappeared directly into the study, towards the top of the treasure pavilion. At the top of the treasure pavilion, this is not a place like the treasure pavilion contains treasures, but a special space surrounded by thunder all day long. At this time, 3 figures appeared in the space. These 3 people were Du Tianhong, Xiao Yang, and Du Chifei. This is the forbidden area of our forging knife Thunder Valley. The whole knife forging Thunder Valley, except for me and Mayfair's mother, is unknown. And Mayfair's mother left early, and this place has evolved into what it looks like today. The three of them perched outside the thunder, Duo Tianhong said, and the power of the thunder in front of the three was too dense, and it was faintly revealed. Anxiety. There seems to be something in here. Xiao Yang's eyes looked at Lei Ting's interior lightly, but he couldn't see through. Even after using his soul power, the dazzling soul power was instantly engulfed. I hope you don't panic, Mayfair's secret is in it. Come with me. Du Tianhong held Du Qifei's jade hand, and the silver-gold cloak around him kept shaking. With the addition of silver armor, those fierce thunderbolts were directly isolated. After a while, the three of them came to the thunder core. How is that possible? Just as he entered the core of thunder, Xiao Yang's pupils shrank tightly, a fear of death filled his heart, Sheng Yang's heart beat at a high speed, and even Xiao Yang's clan lines were vaguely broken. Out signs. What caught Xiao Yang's pupils was the dazzling silver thunder around him. The power of thunder could easily obliterate him, but this was not the most important thing. In front of the three of them, a circular stone platform stood slowly. The stone platform was filled with mysterious runes of various sizes, and the runes were filled with a restraining force that imprisoned everything. The size of the silver thunder, squirming slightly. Above the silver thunder, there are circles of silver lines, lifelike. If you look closely, these lines are exactly the same as the wriggling traces on Duan Qifei's eyebrows. The silver thunder seems to be tightly bound on the stone platform by some kind of powerful restriction, but this does not affect the hegemonic aura it exudes that makes heaven and earth fear it. This is the fluctuation of reincarnation. At this moment, the Soul Eater in Xiao Yang finally knew why there were faint lines on Duan Qifei's forehead. Feia. She is a reincarnator. Du Tianhong looked at Xiao Yang's surprised expression in front of him, and a pale and feeble voice slowly emerged. Sure enough, it's a reincarnator. When Xiao Yang heard the words, the heavy stone in his heart also fell. Reincarnation. The two are simple words, but whoever has a relationship with these two words is a first-class supreme power in the entire Great Thousand World. Xiao Yang, as the controller of Saint Flame, I'm afraid you know your identity as a reincarnator, don't you? Du Tianhong's voice was no longer as domineering as he used to be, but his father was worried about his daughter. Knowledge. The reincarnator. A means left behind after the death of the power in the ancient times. It can reincarnate one's own power and pin it on a certain human being, so that it can take time. This peak power will wake up and help mankind to jointly defend against foreign evil races. There was a hint of helplessness in Xiao Yang's voice. When Mayfair was born, the power of thunder that was sealed in the stone platform appeared on his forehead. As her age and strength increased, after reaching Dozian, she was able to vaguely communicate this power. When she awakened this reincarnation power, she seemed to have changed a person, and her aura and personality were very different from before. Since then, in order to prevent the reincarnation's power from awakening, her mother and I have completely lost us, and even her mother, at the cost of her death, forcibly took out the reincarnation token. Although it's sealed here, it's not a long-term solution if it goes on like this. Because our strength is limited after all, and the energy contained in the reincarnation token is too huge, and if it lasts for a long time, the seal will be broken sooner or later, and once the reincarnation token returns to Fei Shong, the consequences are absolutely not what we can imagine. As parents, we just want our children to have a stable home. The mission of saving the world is too heavy and shouldn't happen to a girl. So, Xiao Yang, I beg you as a father, take this token of reincarnation and accept it. You are the master of the holy flame. With the blessing of the token of reincarnation, you can become a reincarnation person in the future, and your strength will definitely be more terrifying. Duan Tianhong couldn't cry, and directly knelt in the thunder void. He came down and cried to Xiao Yang with a very low attitude. Who would have thought that the overlord of the Eastern continent would actually look like this to a guy in the middle stage of a two-star fighting immortal? Master of Forging Valley, the younger generation can't afford your gift, so please get up quickly. However, your request, I am helpless. Faced with such a move by the Valley Forge Master, Xiao Yang was also quite helpless. Why? Duan Tianhong couldn't help asking, a trace of anger welling up in his heart. Reincarnation, the token of reincarnation is one. Even if you deprive the token of reincarnation, no one can replace the identity of the reincarnator. Because of the token of reincarnation, it will wake up all the memories of the reincarnator sooner or later. Strength. Xiao Yang's voice was filled with helplessness, and he looked at Duo Qifei, who was surrounded by gods. Until now, he didn't know that this girl, who seemed to be smiling all day, had such a big mission behind her. Really, is there no other way? Hearing Xiao Yang's words, Duo Tianhong's eyes couldn't help but turn red. Feiya is everything to him now. If anything happens, I'm afraid he will too. Difficulty sleeping. It should be gone. The reincarnator is something that was planted when the peak power of the Great Thousand Worlds fell, and the power of thunder is probably the reincarnation token left by that power. With the existence of these two, Mayfair will wake up and become a true reincarnation sooner or later. If it is deprived by external force, not only the token of reincarnation will be lost, but even Mayfair will suffer irreparable wounds. Xiao Yang said helplessly. But once Mayfair wakes up, she's like a different person. Her strength, memory, and even personality will change. As parents, how can we bear to see our daughter like this? Duan Tianhong couldn't help choking. Senior, in fact, the reincarnation will not be completely assimilated after awakening, according to what the tutor and I said. The awakening of the reincarnator is only to inherit the memory and power of the previous life, and will not deprive the memory of this life. As for the personality, I am afraid that it will not change. Xiao Yang comforted. Hey! Duan Tianhong looked at Duo Chifei, who was staring at the token of reincarnation on the stone platform, and he felt both love and hate in his heart. Senior, by depriving the token of reincarnation by the seal like this, you are undoubtedly harming Feiya. It's better to return the token of reincarnation to her body as soon as possible. Xiao Yang said. I remember that Feiya's mother told me that the reincarnation mark on Feiya's body seemed to be planted by an almighty named Thunder Lord. Duo Tianhong didn't seem to hear Xiao Yang's words, his eyes were kind and loving. Looking at Phil Road. Lord Thunder? You guy, why is your luck so good? Hearing Du Tianhong's voice falling, the soul eater in Xiao Yang's body couldn't help but exclaimed. Master, what's wrong? Xiao Yang was at a loss. Hey, do you know who this Thunder Master is? The Soul Eater said with a smile. I don't know. Xiao Yang frowned. How could Xiao Yang know this level of power? Outsiders only know that Lei Zhu is the hegemony with thunder, but they don't know that Lei Zhu is a female class. However, this Thunder Lord has something to do with some of the great powers of your ancient Xiao clan, hey. At the end of the sentence, the Lord of Soul Eater laughed strangely, because according to Soul Eater in the memory of the Lord, it seems that someone from the Xiao clan once pursued the Thunder Master, but was beaten away by the Thunder Master helplessly. Xiao Yang, who was confused by Soul Eater's sudden words, couldn't help but exclaimed. Little guy, since this Thunder Lord has already chosen Du Chifei as his reincarnator, then you must protect her even if you say anything, otherwise if something happens to this Thunder Lord, the great powers of your Xiao clan will not easily let go. You. The Lord of Soul Eater smiled maliciously. Master, who is more powerful, Master Lei? Xiao Yang secretly wrote down what the Lord of Soul Eater said. He knew that the Lord of Soul Eater would definitely not joke. He naturally had his own reasons for what he said, but he was still curious and asked immediately. Road. Why are you asking so many questions? The Soul Eater shouted, and then stopped communicating with Xiao Yang. However, being asked by Xiao Yang, the Master of Soul Eater recalled some past events. He thought that the Master of the Soul Eater domain of the Ghost Realm was able to be defeated by the Silver Dragon King and the Thunder Master one after another. By the way, this Thunder Lord is a peak powerhouse written in the Book of Samsara. The so-called reincarnation, after awakening, the minimum strength is above the 6-star Do's Yan. As for the strong person who can be included in the reincarnation book, after awakening, the strength will definitely surpass the 6-star, reach the 7-star 8-star Do's Yan or even a more terrifying existence. It can be said the real peak powerhouse. The Lord of Soul Eater said. The Book of Samsara. A brand new name slowly appeared in Xiao Yang's mind. Never mind. These things naturally have their reasons. I hope this Thunder Master will not harm my daughter, otherwise, even if I pay the price of falling, I will still hurt her bones. After a bit of sadness, Duan Tianhong also recovered and said with a smile, until now, I also know that it is useless to seal the token of reincarnation. It is better to lift the seal and let the token of reincarnation return to Mayfair. Get ready, put the token of reincarnation back into Feiya's body, and then drive out the evil power in my body. Leave the rest to me. Duan Tianhong opened his mouth slightly, and he faintly noticed this time Dongzhou's catastrophe, so he must return to his peak state in order to cope with it comfortably. Senior is profoundly righteous. Listening to Duan Tianhong's words, Xiao Yang nodded his head hard. Actually, the token of reincarnation was sealed before, firstly for our parents' concerns, and secondly to prevent the evil forces within the Forge Sword Thunder Valley, because the valley seemed to be mixed in by other evil forces, and the token of reincarnation was taken out to protect Fei. Son. Duo Tianhong also knew that he couldn't do useless things. At the next moment, in Duo Tianhong's hand, a touch of silver thunder power slowly lingered around his arm. Xiao Yang, Sheng Yang protects me, otherwise the power of this token of reincarnation will be too strong. Just as Du Tianhong was about to start, he shouted at Xiao Yang. Fire Heart Tianyang. With a cold snort, a terrifying khaki flame poured out from Xiao Yang's body like a tide. Under the attack of Du Tianhong's thunder power and Xiao Yang's flame power, the stone platform that sealed the token of reincarnation was shattered in an instant. The sealing stone platform was just shattered, and then, the silver thunder that made the whole world fear it, slid into the center of Duan Qifei's eyebrows. Pushed to the top. Wang Om. Just as the silver token of reincarnation returned to Du Qifei's body, Duo Qifei's expression suddenly became strange. Obviously, this token of reincarnation caused a lot of load on her body. This. Duo Tianhong looked at his daughter who was so uncomfortable, and was at a loss for a moment. Senior, don't worry, this is a token of reincarnation nourishing Fei's body, and there is no harm. Xiao Yang said with a smile. Oh, I hope. Duan Tianhong slowly shook his head and said. Senior, don't worry, although the identity of a reincarnator is somewhat special, Mayfair's safety, with the existence of the token of reincarnation, will not cause any life and death crisis, so Senior can rest assured. Xiao Yang said. Okay, since she won't wake up for a while, let's do business first. Duan Tianhong glanced at Fei, then looked at Xiao Yang with fiery eyes. If that's the case, then come on. Xiao Yang smiled, his eyes became heavy. Holy flame expel the power of evil. This is not a simple thing. Senior, expelling the power of evil is not so easy, so you have to prepare yourself mentally. The power of holy flame should not be underestimated. Xiao Yang looked at Du Tianhong and smiled slowly. Ha ha ha. Although the little guy lets go of his fists, my old bones are still tough. But for a while, we'll be like this. Duo Tianhong said with a smile. Not to obliterate. Xiao Yang was shocked when he heard this. This guy still has a very big role, and he can't die for the time being. According to what I said, everything is under the control of our sword-forging Thunder Valley. Du Tianhong heard the words, the golden cloak behind him slowly fluttered, and the silver armor on his body was instantly removed, revealing a strong and powerful chest. Above the chest, bursts of strong and powerful heartbeats came out, and there was a dark atmosphere in the chest, like an evil worm that devoured the blood of human beings, invisibly exuding an unparalleled of evil breath. What a tyrannical evil force! Xiao Yang's eyes became serious, obviously just from the black liquid, he realized that this guy is definitely not good. Fei. Such a terrifying scene was directly revealed, while Du Qifei, who was still absorbing the tokens of reincarnation, frowned, and felt a rather tyrannical aura. Crash. Seeing this, Xiao Yang naturally wouldn't sit back and ignore it. The dazzling power of holy flame directly wrapped around Duan Qifei's delicate body, allowing her to smoothly absorb the token of reincarnation. This reincarnation token was originally born to her, but it has been sealed for a long time now, and it will take some time to fuse it together. Thank you. Seeing Xiao Yang's scene, Duo Tianhong immediately said gratefully. Senior, this evil power. Xiao Yang looked at the dark black liquid on Duo Tianhong's chest and couldn't help but ask, this level of evil power is the first time Xiao Yang has seen in his life, it is too arrogant. This is the origin of a king called the Burning Soul Clan among the evil tribes outside the realm. At the beginning, I was lucky enough to find out that this alien race was trying to conspire against Dongju, taking advantage of the power of the Great Heaven Seed and the fighting soul in my body to annihilate their entire race, but I also offended the alien race. Really powerful. Fortunately, the Lord of Li's soul took action and rescued me. But they don't know that the king of the Burning Soul Clan is a powerhouse that is comparable to a human being's 4-star Dozian perfection level. In that battle, although I wiped out their entire clan, this guy is threatening to fall, to use great means, and finally I had no choice but to seal him in my body. I tried to find the holy flame and completely obliterate him. Fortunately, the emperor pays off. Duo Tianhong said with a smile. Senior, wake up this evil power. Combine you and me with the power of Saint Flame to kill him. It's not difficult. After Xiao Yang heard this, the holy flame crystal of Huaxin Tianyang suddenly appeared on his body, bursts of dazzling radiance. The khaki liquid and flames are constantly intertwined. Okay, just waiting for your words. Duan Tianhong's voice was like a bell, suddenly echoing in this thunder space. Boom. Du Tianhong's voice just fell, and immediately on the surface of his body, the power of silver thunder continued to seep out from under his skin. The tyranny of this thunder made the evil liquid tremble with a sound. As expected of a guy who has the thunder element great celestial seed. Even if Xiao Yang had the protection of Saint Flame at this time, under Duo Tianhong's silver thunder, he still felt a sense of trepidation. It seemed that the power of this thunder, it is almost the same as the power of his own holy flame, Duan Tianhong. In the next moment, a roar with monstrous resentment suddenly came out from the black liquid in his chest. Ha ha ha. Evil Mo. Today is the time for you to fall completely. Duo Tianhong burst out laughing when he noticed that the figure hidden in the black liquid slowly woke up. Falling. Duan Tianhong, you must have underestimated my soul-burning clan. I am the king of the Burning Soul clan. How could I fall into your hands? Don't worry, it won't be long before the real kings of the evil races outside my territory will go to war with your great thousand worlds. At that time, no one will be able to escape the thousands of creatures in your great thousand world. Hei Yelio didn't seem to be afraid at all, his tone it was filled with a fierce breath. Don't worry, you won't see that day. Thousand thunder immortal bound. At the next moment, countless silver thunders appeared around Duo Tianhong. Each of the silver thunders seemed to contain a terrifying power that could obliterate all things. When they just appeared, the space was immediately filled with an unease. Old chops. The black liquid was injected by Du Tianhong's terrifying power of thunder, and his aura suddenly diminished. Brother Xiao Yang, next, I'll leave it to you. Duan Tian's aura was floating, and even a paleness appeared on his face. The attack just now was obviously not only aimed at the black liquid, but also at himself. Du Tianhong is worthy of being the true overlord in the entire eastern continent, but he did not hesitate to lose his origin, and directly sealed the evil power of the black liquid temporarily, which bought time for Xiao Yang's next purification. Next, leave it to me. Xiao Yang had a headache how to completely seal Xiaomo's power. After all, a strong man who was comparable to a human's 4-star Dozian perfection was like the end of the day for himself. After everything was ready, Xiao Yang's body burned at high speed, and then the khaki yellow holy flame crystal was gently placed on his chest. Holy flame. Zhu Xie. Seemingly relying on instinct, Sheng Yangjing just smelled the evil power on Du Tianhong's body, and bursts of dazzling yellow light instantly filled the entire thunder space. Then the yellow light turned into a string of obscure and mysterious runes in front of Xiao Yang, and immediately hit the black liquid on Duo Tianhong's chest with the powerful aura that purifies all thing. This is holy flame. Impossible. At this moment, there was a sudden uneasiness in the black liquid. They were born as evil races from outside the realm, and the holy flame has the power to completely obliterate them. If they are hit by the source of this holy flame, I am afraid that it will not be long before they will be completely wiped out. At this moment, even Xiamo, the arrogant king of the Burning Soul clan in the past, burst into chills. No, you can't sit still like this. You must escape. The black liquid didn't hesitate in the next moment, his body suddenly shook, and then, under the gazes of Xiao Yang and Du Tianhong, it broke away from Duo Tianhong's chest, and then moved towards a certain he walked away in the void, but what made him feel strange was that in the past, he would be blocked by Du Tianhong, but this time it was so easy, it seemed like Duo Tianhong, intentional? Duan Tianhong, and you, the master of the holy flame, if this king encounters you next time, he will definitely kill you. Now! I won't play with you anymore. Susu. The black liquid swept out of the space instantly, ready to sink into the wriggling void. Xiamo. This time, from the time I destroyed your soul-burning clan, I was destined to win. Thunder-type heavenly seed. Fighting soul. Seal it to me. The next moment, a voice full of smiles broke through the space, with a violent breath, and suddenly the entire thunder space was frozen in an instant, and the evil foam liquid that was about to escape was also imprisoned in an instant. How could it be possible? At this moment, the evil foam in the black liquid also had an unbelievable look. It's hit. The next moment, Xiamo in the black liquid suddenly understood. Among their extraterrestrial evil races, the kings of each race will leave a special imprint on their base camp. Once someone falls, the supreme among the extraterritorial evil races will know it immediately. And now Duo Tianhong's 5-star fighting immortal's strength is coupled with a holy flame controller, it is easy to obliterate his own 4-star fighting immortal, but the two of them are deliberately letting themselves escape, and they have just escaped from Duo Tianhong's body. Above, was immediately imprisoned. Where to run? Come back to me. Realizing that the black liquid under the restraint was still restless, Duo Tianhong snorted, and immediately sewed it tightly together, and then brought it to him. Until now, this evil foam has also been completely blocked by Du Tianhong. Give control. Senior, You are. At this time, Xiao Yang was in control of Sheng Yangjing. As if he was going to urge the power of Sheng Yang to completely obliterate this guy, he was slightly puzzled. Many people already know that Xiamo was sealed in my body by me, so my strength is greatly reduced because of his existence, but now that he has been squeezed out of my body, my strength will return to its peak soon. And this time, I believe you have also discovered some clues. You met 2 Soul Clan people in the first stage. In addition to the information I got, the foreign evil clan seems to have made some moves against our East continent. Their power should have penetrated into the contestants and the inside of the Thunder Valley of our forged swords. So Xiamo can't fall, otherwise they will notice. This time the war we carefully arranged will disappear. Duan Tianhong looked at the black liquid that was bound by Xiamo and smiled. This battle is the revenge of the evil clan from outside the territory to our sword-forging Thunder Valley, but it is also the clarion call for our East continent to declare war on the evil clan outside the territory. Duo Tianhong said. It's still Senior's righteousness. Xiao Yang nodded slowly when he heard the words, but this kind of thing obviously couldn't be handled by him fortunately. Xiao Yang, thank you. Originally, Xiamo was sealed in my body. My chance of winning this war was only less than 30%, but now, because of Xiamo's incident, my chance of winning has reached 70%. Duan Tianhong smiled from the heart. Road. Is there anything I can do to help? Xiao Yang asked slightly. After all, he was also a holy flame controller, and it was his task to eliminate the evil race from outside the realm. Just take care of Feiya. This time, the evil tribe from outside the territory attacked our East continent, and to a large extent, they wanted to capture Feiya, because once her identity as a reincarnator is awakened, I am afraid that it will cause a lot of prestige to the evil tribe outside the territory. And this time the comparison of Eastern continents is over, and after the comparison of 4 continents, if there is a chance, take him back to the human world. The ghost world is not suitable for her. At least protect her until she wakes up. Duan Tianhong said with a hint of helplessness. Yes. Xiao Yang heard the words, looked at Du Chifei, whose aura was looming, and nodded helplessly. Reincarnator. I don't know when I will wake up. Sometimes too much power can be a burden. As her mother said, Feiya's life is just as ordinary as other girls. Du Tianhong looked at Feiya's eyebrows vaguely merged with the silver thunder, and suddenly said sadly, he knew, once the identity of the reincarnator is awakened, the crises and enemies that will be faced in the future will definitely be some wicked people. With great power comes great responsibility. However, in order to protect the people you hold dear, you still have to practice hard. Xiao Yang also shook his head slowly, and the images of Mu Yingying and Zuna and a few daughters appeared in his mind. Okay, let's go first. The second phase should also begin soon. After Feiya wakes up, I will let her go to find you. Duan Tianhong said slowly. Yes. Xiao Yang nodded lightly, and was instantly teleported back by Du Tianhong. Xiamo. This time, I will definitely make your extraterritorial evil clan lose their blood. As soon as he finished speaking, Duo Tianhong immediately took the black liquid that had been imprisoned by the silver thunder back into his inner ring, and forging the illusion of an evil black group on the chest. As for the specific use, it is unknown. A descendant of the Xiao clan. Following Du Tianhong's actions and Xiao Yang's departure, Duo Chifei also completed the fusion at this moment. Emerge. However, this voice was like bursts of Sanskrit, and Duo Tianhong was not heard. Movement fighting skills Thunder Explosion and Thunder God Scroll. This first stage of the test is not a loss. Xiao Yang had just returned to his room, and was about to take out his body fighting skills to practice, but he was swept away by the rain. He was awakened by the knock on the door with the second daughter Liu Qing. What's the matter? Pushing the door open, the 2 goddesses immediately looked a little wrong. Xiao Yang wondered. The rules for the second stage of the competition have come out. The 2 women were not polite to Xiao Yang. They went directly to the wooden table in the room and sat down, took a sip of tea and said, "Ah." After Xiao Yang heard the words, he remembered that he had been in the treasure pavilion for too long, and now the second stage is about to begin. The second stage of the competition is very strange. It is the soul competition. Liu Qingbei's lips moved slightly, and then the seductive voice filled the whole house. Soul competition? Xiao Yang's face suddenly became shocked when he heard this. When it comes to the cultivation of Do Qi, Xiao Yang naturally cannot be compared with these heavenly heroes above Dongju, but when it comes to soul power, I am afraid that no one can compare to Xiao Yang. Medicine, the cultivation of soul power is also steady step by step. And this second stage of the competition, the rewards are also extremely rich. The first place can get a volume of soul attack fighting skills. The next moment, Yu Ran's voice resounded throughout the room. What? When Xiao Yang heard this, the corners of his mouth couldn't help but tremble. Soul attack fighting skill. Its value is comparable to Thor's scroll, or even better. You are an alchemist of the 4th rank of immortal rank, and your soul power must have reached the Fairyland. This time, you are very hopeful to win, Liu Qing also said with a cheerful smile. The registration has lasted for 9 days. Tomorrow is the last day. But according to the current registration situation, it doesn't seem to be ideal. Because the total number of applicants is only a few hundred now, and the powerhouses whose soul power has reached the Fairyland are not even one-handed. Yu Ran opened her mouth in doo-doo. Let's go, then why don't you take advantage of today and sign up? Xiao Yang heard the words and smiled slowly. Although he already had such a tyrannical soul-fighting skill as Yu Mingtian Trance, he was not afraid of any more. This video will end here.